What's up? Long time no chat.
We are live, finally.
How
Holy
you been,
shit, a
bro?
lot of thing. I'm good, how are you doing?
I'm good. I missed recording this picture.
Same. Acting as we haven't already spoken today for like
Yeah.
since 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. your time.
Right.
But, bro, we have so many updates. I don't even know where to start. This is gonna be a banger of a video.
This video is gonna be. This one is posted right after us saying like we left our agencies to start brand new companies, and now we did another huge change, and people are gonna call us crazy for it. But that's what we are. We are crazy.
Yeah. We like taking bets. I mean, I love taking risks. Without risks, I mean, life is just boring, to be honest. I need that kind of adrenaline going. I think you're the same. And
Yeah,
by the
bro.
way, do I look more tan right now? I
No.
think I do.
Okay,
Do I?
fair. We're
Hair.
gonna have to cross check against last week.
We got a cross check. Let's
So
dive in.
what's the big change since last time we spoke?
Let's do it. So, me and Edvin decided to co-found Lemon. I wish I could send so work reactions right now. I wish I could send some fire emojis or do some reactions, but we decided to. Actually, I might be able to. I don't know if you see that.
That's it.
Yeah, we co-founded Lemon. Lemon is, if you guys watched the last video, it's basically one app for all services. Whether you need a barber, a new gym, you need to find a good restaurant, you need nannies, movers, contractors, painters, no matter what it is, it's gonna be one platform for every single service. And you guys might have heard this from Edvin before, and we had, I don't know, how many calls did we have about this? Probably, in total, probably like 8 hours of calls
Minimum.
minimum, where we talked about what it would look like if we partnered up and why would we partner up. Now, on paper, it doesn't really make sense because we kind of had the same skill set. Like, we are both from an agency, we're both young, we're both very impulsive, we're not technical, we just go after things and we screw things up and then we just improve and get better at it. So we're kind of the yeah, we're kind of like a duplicate of each other. And on paper, when you look for a co-founder, you should be looking in different things, right? You want technical co-founders that are more introverted, they just sit and work. Then you want an outgoing co-founder that is the marketing and the sales, and then maybe you have an outgoing person that handles the team. On paper, it didn't really make sense, and after our first calls, we were like, no, we're not gonna partner up. But then the question kind of came back, and then we're like, after long discussion, we decided to co-found Lemon. And the reason why we didn't co-found CareerFind was that we both agreed that CareerFind probably has probably a better impact in a sense because you got the right people working on the right stuff. CareerFind was basically supposed to be like a hiring platform where you can hire someone in 30 seconds. With Lemon though, Lemon can literally become the biggest company in the world. I mean, do you know how many trillions does the US spend per year on services and all of these kind
All
of
services is 13 billion. On just local services like barbershops, shit like that.
13
It's
billion? Isn't it more?
no trillion. Did I say billion?
13 trillion. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. 13 trillion. So it's a $13 trillion industry in the US alone. And so if we build one app for all services and we take over multiple countries and then multiple continents, then I can see how this would be the biggest company in the world. And so it makes more sense to partner up, even if we just increase the likelihood of us succeeding by 10%. Let's say the likelihood of us succeeding is 40%. We can run out of cash. We can have like Airbnb, Brian Chesky trying to outcompete us. We can have co-founder or founders with billions of dollars in saving that tries to outcompete us. And let's say the likelihood that we succeed is 40%. If we partner up and we increase that to 50, that is a bet that any time of the week I'm gonna take if I increase my odds by 10%. The same for Edvin. Now that is the big news. Edvin, what do you have to say?
No, I think you said it better than I ever could. I think about it like this. Everybody knows about Amazon. Amazon is the fifth biggest company in the world, fourth to fifth, depending on when you look. and it's worth $2 trillion. But if you look at how much people spend on services compared to products, it's a 4x difference, which means that everything else being equal, this is 4x the opportunity size of Amazon if we do the same thing as them, which means that we could be the biggest company in the world. And everybody I've spoken to about the idea of Lemon, Jim already
Sorry to
explained
cut you off, Edwin. I need to go pick up my food right now. I
I'll
can't
keep going.
pause it. So continue yapping.
I'll continue for sure. So basically, what we realized was that there's one place to find products, right? There's a lot of e-commerce store, but 50% plus is all just Amazon. But that doesn't exist for services. There's no one place to find all the services. Some people use Yelp, some people use Google Maps, some people just go on websites, some people ask their friends, but there's no one collected way. And when you speak to people, it's obvious that everybody needs that. Everybody knows that it should be easier to find a good plumber or barber or whatever, but nobody has solved that yet. Many people have tried. There's companies like Yelp that have tried, there's companies like Thumbtack and so on. But no company has included every single use case that we have in every single feature that I think differentiates us. So what makes Lemon special? I'd say there's 4 main things. First, it has all categories. You name it, we got it. It's 8 main categories, which is, I'm probably gonna fumble them, but it's food and drinks, it's beauty, fitness and wellness, pets, events, activities and experiences, car and auto, and a bunch of other ones that I can't even think of right now. That was barely 8. But anyways, we have pretty much every single service out there, which is the first one. Secondly, you can see what service your friends use. So imagine I like Jim's haircut. Rather than me needing to ask him and him needing to remember his barber, sending me the link and me finding a place to book with that person or calling them, I just go on his profile because we're friends on Lemon. I see what barber he uses and I book it on the app. That's how it works. Third, it knows your preferences. So Lemon gets better every time you use it. Every time you find a service, it learns what you like and it asks you questions about yourself and uses an AI to learn everything about you, so that if you're a 64-year-old, you're not gonna get a bunch of nightclubs being recommended. If you have a kid, you're not gonna get recommended into dating sites. Or sorry, if you're married. And if you don't have a kid, you're not gonna get recommended childcare, right? So it knows you and it makes the recommendations and everything on the app based on that. And then I'd say the last and maybe most important feature is that it has all businesses already pre-scraped. So we've scraped the whole internet to get every business and all the information about each one. So each business is more complete than their own website, which is what makes it freaking incredible. Plus you can book straight on the platform. So you can go on a restaurant, if you like it, you don't need to go on their website, try to find a booking link, you can just book it straight on there. That's my 2-minute pitch on why I think Lemon will be the biggest platform in the world. Now, I want to give you guys a quick update on where we're at. Lemon is launching no other day than today, and I want to show you guys. So we are launching Lemon in about 3 hours, and it's there on my phone right there. When you open up the app, it's live. You can see all services. You can speak to an AI that can give you recommendations straight away, that knows everything about you. You can find all the services or all the categories that we cover. You can see what services your friends use, everything on the app. Now, I want this session, and I'm gonna repeat this when Jim comes, but I want this session to be the full-on blueprint of everything we have in mind to make this a $1 trillion company. I want this to be the fun video that people can laugh at in 10 years when they're like, oh yeah, did you know that Jim and Edwin, the co-founders of Lemon, actually made a video breaking down their whole game plan? I want that to be this video. So I want to share everything that me and Jim and our third co-founder, Ada, that I'm going to tell you guys about. I want to break down everything we're doing to actually launch Lemon and make this the world's biggest company. So first things first, who the fuck is Ada? Ada was my operations specialist and operations manager for almost 2 years when I ran Local Builder, my previous company. And she's freaking incredible. She's the best technical mind I think I've ever met. Think about it like a Mark Zuckerberg, but 19-year-old from Nigeria. That's what Ada is. So when I decided to have the balls to actually start Lemon, it was a no-brainer for me to have her as my technical co-founder. So the entire app that we've built is all built by her. She built every single screen you see. She built the design. She built the interface. She built the AI. She built the preference matching. Every single section that the app has, she built. Okay, so Ada is probably the number one hardest working person in our company right now. And me and Jim spoke about this yesterday and we were laughing because Ada is working fucking longer nights than me and him are right now, which is changing. But in all seriousness, she's incredible. I'm extremely, extremely grateful to have her on the team and to have somebody like that to actually build a product with us. Is she the most experienced? No, absolutely not. There's people that have way more experience than her. But what makes her different is the fact that she works all day. She's incredibly fucking smart. She's great at tech, AI development, and she learns that every single day and gets better at it. And she's incredibly humble. She's never gonna think she's the best. She's never gonna be afraid to ask a question. She learns at lightning speed. So, super grateful to be building this with Jim and Ada. Now, Jim kind of touched on why we decided to partner, but the reason we decided to just bring each other together and build this, all three of us, and not exclude one person, was because we realized that we need to basically be better than Google Maps, Yelp, Thumbtack, TaskRabbit, what's called Nextdoor. Every single app that exists, we need to beat all in one, which is not fucking easy. So we need to have the highest likelihood of success. We don't have $10 million of funding that we can put into this. We have the money from our previous agencies, but that's limited. So we decided to bring together the three best people we knew to build this together, to bootstrap it until we got traction so that we can then launch and raise money and get some traction with the product. So that's where we're at. Now, I don't know when Jimmy's coming back. He might never. Who knows? Maybe he got kidnapped. But I'll start laying out the plan of how we're planning to build the product, launch the app, and get the vendors, which is the third pillar. When you build a marketplace like Airbnb or Uber, DoorDash, or anything else, you have a two-sided marketplace, which means that you can't just get users that go on the app. You also need a host or the drivers, or depending what that is, depending on your company, right? But we need to both get those vendors. Every single business needs to claim their profile or claim their business at the same time as we also get the users to using the app. What's up, Jim?
Oh yeah, what have I missed?
I just gave them a rundown of who the fuck Ada is, why we decided to partner, and I want to make this podcast the one video that people look back on in 10 years where we spill the whole plan of how we're launching Lemon and trying to make this the biggest company in the world. Let's just give them all the sauce of what we were imagining. We're probably wrong with most of it, but it's going to be fun to just break it all down. What do you think?
100%. Let's do it. And yeah, I don't know if Edvin put enough emphasis on it, but Ada is a killer. She's an absolute A player. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, she's incredible. Super grateful to work with both her and you. So let's break it down. Let's break down what the plan is to build the product, get the users, and get the vendors. I'll start with kind of the product. We've divided it up into three different parts right now. It's a product, it's the user acquisition, and the vendors. I'm getting the users right now. Jim gets the vendors, and Ada builds the product. That's going to change with time. Of course, there's things that are inside of our responsibilities that don't have to do with that, but that's a meta high level of how we've divided it up right now. So basically, Ada has been spending the last month and a half building a product, just day in, day out. What we used, I want to split all the sauce, is we used Cursor with Cloud Code we started off by making the demos on Lovable, then we quickly moved to Cursor with Lovable, and then we used Expo Go to host the code. And that's how we built an entire app that you guys can tell me that I'm stupid if you download it, but I think that it's almost as good as Airbnb's app or Uber's app. I think it's fucking incredible. Does it have bugs? Hell yeah. Is there things that we gotta implement? Hell yeah. But it's an app that I truly believe is at the quality of those kind of apps, which I feel super proud of. So that's what Ada did. Right now, she's just working on both the vendor side and the user app, because that's basically two different apps she gotta build at the same time. She's working on both. She's the only developer. We had another guy, but we let him go because we needed to up the standard of the team. She's building everything herself. God bless AI that's helping us out getting all of this done. It would never be possible without AI coding. Yeah. So that's where we're at, and we're launching today. Now, let's talk about how to get users and vendors. It all starts with the vendors. We can't make money without the vendors. So, Jim, you start there.
100%. So vendors, essentially, how I don't know how much you explained about Lemon, but we will take a small percentage of all of the fees. It's kind of like we will be almost like a payment processor, and instead of being like a marketing company where, you know, in contracting we used to charge like $500, $600 per demo, including ad spend, or even more, including ad spend. And now it's gonna be like $20. And the reason why we can do that is just we're gonna do so much volume, and so Lemon will just make everyone build a better product so they get more referrals through Lemon, and that's how they're gonna win. So it's not the person who has the best marketing, it's the company that has the best product, the best experience, best customer support, best results, all of that, which is great. And so when it comes to getting vendors, I flew to Miami. When we had everything not even launched, when we had literally nothing, I just packed my bag, flew from Austria to Miami, and I've been knocking doors here. I've been going out to people and just knocking doors. Now, big problem with knocking doors, we started with restaurants, and the reason for that was they are going to be the most frequently used on the actual platform. So if we get one restaurant on the platform, that restaurant is going to get us way more in revenue just because it's more frequently used, right? You can go to a restaurant 3, 4, 5 times a week, depending on what kind of person you are, if not even more, but you only need a barber, call it once a month, once every 3 weeks. So we're starting with restaurants. Now, problem that I faced was there's not a single owner at the place, at the restaurant. Most of them are franchises, and so the manager at the place needs approval, which is basically a smokescreen, right? They need approval from their corporate office to be able to sign up to any apps, etc. And so that was a big problem. And so what we're gonna do now is I've created a sheet with pretty much every single vendor in Brickell, Miami, and every single business in Brickell, Miami, and we're gonna hit them literally everywhere. We're gonna do Instagram, Facebook, comment on their YouTube page, send them a postcard, call them, email them, and we're also gonna do something where the vendors gets notified every single time there's a booking on the platform. And so I will just have an automation running that I book with every single business in Brickell. And so every single business will get a notification, hey, you have a booking on Lemon, download Lemon or sign up, create your account to see who booked, and then I'll be there. And then for the people that sign up, I can go out, get feedback on how the onboarding experience was, actually get something if needed, or just cancel the booking. Transparently, just we gotta do what we gotta do. So that is kind of the plan. The plan is to saturate one market, take over one area, and saturate the shit out of that area until every single person knows what Lemon is, and then we move on. That's pretty much it there. We might also have I might also build out like a cold calling team when we go bigger and we need call it 100 vendors a day. It's also going to be a lot of referrals. Like when a vendor comes on board on Lemon as a user, they will see that, oh, my business is here, let me edit it, let me claim it. They can claim it through there. So it's also going to be like a flywheel. After a little bit of time, it's going to be, and a lot of startup founders at the Founders Podcast, all of this is talking about this. In the beginning, you're pushing a big rock up a hill, and then you're going to get to a point where the rock is chasing you back down, and that's when you have so much word of mouth, so many vendors claiming that you can't keep up because it's just, you got product market fit and everything's just flying. So we want to get to that point as fast as we can, and that's kind of the overview of how we're going to get vendors. There's of course going to be more things like partnerships, maybe speaking with a mall, getting to know the owner of a mall, and he should send out an email to every single business that is on there, stuff like that. That's also how we're gonna get a lot of vendors, and that's what I'm working on right now, essentially.
That was fire. I think there was only one thing that you gotta add. Why would vendors claim with us? On top of just the marketing and getting more customers, what are we trying to do to make this the best app in the world for the vendors on top of the users? How are we trying to make the vendors love Lemon the way the users will do?
Well, what I'm thinking is like they will miss out if they're not on Lemon. They will literally miss out on a shit ton of business if they're not on Lemon, because every single user will be on Lemon. And so their competitors will outgrow them if they are on Lemon, but they are not. It's just gonna be a lose for them. And so it's so cheap to be on Lemon for a business that it's like it doesn't cost them anything. They're paying us when they receive customers through us. And so it's like there's no downside. There's literally no downside. And the downside is if they don't join, all of their competitors and all of their neighbors are going to be on the app, and they won't have the same word of mouth essentially on Lemon. And that's the first thing I'm thinking of. Let me know if you're thinking about something else.
For sure. No, I think I 100% agree with that. Another thing we're trying to do is a lot of small businesses, they don't have one collective CRM system to keep track of everything in their business. Whether it's talking to their customers in the first place, managing their bookings, paying their team, looking at the reviews they got and managing them, responding to them, looking at the revenue between each. Bro, is that tasty? That looks good. Managing the.
Bro, I haven't eaten all day today. Time is.
Yeah. Managing the revenue between each one of their services, managing their staff, looking at availability. All those things will be things that the vendors can do through our app. So it's going to be their strongest marketing tool for super cheap, no risk. Plus, it's going to be their strongest internal tool so that they want to get their users on Lemon, because when their users are on Lemon, their users can pay through Lemon, they can communicate with the company through Lemon, they can keep everything on Lemon. Long term, of course, this isn't easy to build. This isn't the day one strategy, but long term, we want to make it so that the vendors love Lemon equally as much as the users do, because they're obsessed with just being able to keep their business on one app, the same app that gets them all their customers for incredibly cheap. What do you think?
100%. I don't know if you've talked about this, but another strategy that we're going to use is all vendors will be able to upload all of their customers into Lemon. And so when they do, I don't know if you've seen the app, I think it's Networks. When someone sign up to Networks and they connect their phone, everyone gets like, you have been referred to Networks by this person. We're going to do the exact same thing for Lemon. We're going to prompt people like, hey, if you upload all of your customers into Lemon, you will have more followers or whatever on your page, you're going to have more reactions, and you're going to get more referrals through the customers that you already have, because their friends will see that they use you. So they want to upload all of their customers, and when they do, all of them gets an email, hey, this business just invited you to Lemon, wants you to be a part of it, and knows you're a valued customer. Let's say 20% of them sign up, and we have like 50,000. That's 10,000 users from one business by just like that. And so we're looking at things like this to just explode it. I think it's just now in the beginning it's like the snowball is a little bit smaller. In a month, I think we're gonna have like crazy growth.
100%, hell yeah. So let me break down how we're thinking with users, what the vision is there, and then I want to break down the culture of the company, the core values, everything like that. So let's start with the users. I think the users is the growth that funnels everything else, right? If there's not users on the platform, then no businesses will want to be on there. That's the snowball effect, right? So how we're getting users, number one, is the unscalable short-term strategies is I'm reaching out to everybody I know in Lemon. We're asking everybody to refer everybody they know. We're posting it on our stories and everything like that to just get our first 100 users. Once we have 100, we're going to be talking to those people for hours a day, every single day, to make the product perfect. And Y Combinator, which is one of the biggest investment incubators in the world, they talk about doing the unscalable. Do the things that you can scale. The way you get your first 100 users is not the same way you get your first million users. Do that until you have a product that people love, like Jim said, until you need to chase that boulder down the hill because everybody's loving your product and you can barely keep up with the demand. That's when you want to start doing the scalable stuff. So get 100 users, get them to love the app, and then once they love the app, Then we'll start the more scalable methods. Jim spoke about the first one, which is importing vendors coming on the app, importing their users. Secondly, we're gonna go extremely hard on just social media. I think that's the number one way to get attention 2026. A lot of people still underestimate it. So we both have a Lemon page. I have a personal page. Both of those we're gonna be posting 2 to 3 times a day on each. Plus, we're going to be doing influencer marketing. So reaching out to every influencer in every category, whether it's a fitness influencer or a nail influencer or hair influencer or just lifestyle influencer in Miami, getting them all to promote the app. Paying them on a CPM basis, basically for every 1,000 views they get paid $2, for example. And then they'll be promoting the app. Our goal is to make it so that everybody in Miami just can't stop hearing about the app. So that they feel like, what's this app? It's super new. Everybody's talking about it. I'm missing out if I'm not on it. And then because of the feedback we got from the first 100 users, when somebody gets on the app, thanks to how great our DAI is and the product we're building, we're gonna make sure that once somebody has tried it, they're never going back to Google Maps. They're never going back to Yelp. They're never going back to just manually searching for websites. They get stuck on Lemon forever because there's no better alternative, not even close. That's the user thoughts we have. We also want to run ads in the future once we have capital and so on. But that's the affiliate marketing will be the way that we get a majority of the Miami market. As Jim said, we want every single person in Miami, more than half of the population, including the 60-year-olds, to be on the app before we ever go into the next market in Florida. Now, we also will, once we have product market fit and people are actually loving the product, we're also going to be paying for referrals. So if you import a user, or say if you import a friend into the app, we'll give you $5 as long as they book a service. If you import 100 people, then that's $500 you can make overnight as long as they book a service, and so on. We're gonna make it so that people can copy their Lemon profile, put it on their link tree, whether they're an influencer or just a normal person, and they can put a call to action like see what services I use, so that it gets word of mouth. The same way that people share what clothes they're wearing, they also want to be sharing what nail salons they're using or what restaurants they go to. Every time they do that, they can put their Lemon link there and they can use that to drive people to sign up, and then they get paid each time. We're giving out all the sauce here. Anybody can try to copy Lemon right now, but they're gonna get killed.
They can't. The execution is
The hard part.
I'm gonna say the ideas are easy. The execution is pretty hard. Like taking over an area. So I got food in my entire mouth.
You get it. Take your time.
Yeah, taking over like an entire area. We're 100% gonna do it, but it's not easy. Like this is not running B2B ads, getting a client going on a sales call. This is actually like hardcore execution. That's why it hasn't been done. If it was easy, then it would already be done. And so we are probably gonna be able to just give out all of our ideas to start off with, because no one is gonna be able to outcompete the execution. It's just gonna be brute force execution, and I bet that not even a fifth of people watching this are willing to just leave everything and just fly here to go out on the street and door knock. Just that alone, I guarantee that not everyone is willing to do that.
And this isn't an idea that's never been heard of. One app to find all services. We're not the first people to come up with this idea. If we said we were, we'd be delusional. I spoke to one of our clients last week that said that he had tried building an app that was doing what Lemon did. He failed. And I have, doing research on Lemon, I've found probably 100 people who've tried this and failed, right? There's people who've succeeded in one industry but couldn't get into the next one. There's people who succeeded with one part but couldn't monetize and went bankrupt. Doing this is extremely hard, like Jim said, and that's why nobody's done it before. If it was easy, it would have been done 20 years ago when Amazon was done, right?
Yeah.
So I think this, if we can succeed with an agency, we have done something 1% of people can do. If we can succeed with this, we've done something that maybe 100 people on Earth have been able to succeed with. Making a two-sided marketplace for a majority of the US market, I can count a handful of companies that have succeeded with that. DoorDash, Uber, Airbnb, Amazon, there's so freaking few of them that it's almost impossible. You can watch that Iman Gadzhi YouTube tutorial on how to start a marketplace like Lemon, but you can with an agency. This is literally I don't think it's inaccurate to say that this is a million times harder. Like for every single small decision, it's so much harder. It's like trying to build a e-commerce store versus trying to build Tesla. I think that's the difficulty level. And we're up for that. And we know that we have nowhere near the skills that it takes to build this, but we're committed to getting all those skills with time and learning, investing in mentors, investing in great team members who know way more than us, and just hacking our way through that growth to be able to become the biggest company in the world in the next 10 years. We understand it won't happen next week, but we're willing to commit time. We're willing to commit effort, and we're willing to sacrifice everything for this.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the goals. So we are launching the app today to the general public. It went live a few days ago, but we needed to fix some bugs. We needed to make it better. Today is when we'll go on our socials, say that the app is live. And this week we want to get our first 100 users. So when you see this, I want you to search for uselemon.com and then download the app there. It's a link to download it on the App Store, or you can just search for Lemon All Services, one app, on the App Store and you'll see it. It's just
we can put a link probably to the
That's a
App
great
Store down below.
That's a great idea.
Let's do
And
that.
basically, we're trying to get 100 users this week, plus we're trying to get 30 vendors to actually claim. When we say trying to get vendors, as I explained before, we've already scraped every single business, but it's a different thing from them being scraped without knowing it versus them actually claiming it themselves. So that's what we're trying to do right now. Just to show you guys, search for Lemon All Services One app. You'll find this beautiful little guy here. Sorry for my dirty phone. And then you should be seeing Lemon there. The blur is killing me, but yeah, that's Lemon. So
Lemon
we go-
dash all services one app.
Exactly. You can even just search for Lemon All Services and you'll find it. Now, that's Lemon. That's what we're trying to push for. And this week, 100 users. The goal for the end of the month is, the goal for the end of next month is to have 10,000 returning users. A returning user is somebody who's booked more than 2 services through the app. And we're trying to have 200 claimed vendors, which is about 30% of the whole Brickell market. Brickell is like the downtown main spot in Miami, so that's where we're trying to get users first. Of course, we can take them all over Miami, but Brickell is the #1 spot. That's where Jim is at right now. So 10,000 users, 200 vendors. Once we have that, we see our retention numbers. We're actually starting to make some real money from it. The word of mouth has started. The capital is coming in, and that's where we want to raise money. We're hoping to be able
That's
to
when we
raise.
fly.
Hell yeah. We're hoping to raise money from the venture capitalists in San Francisco. If you guys don't know anything about the Silicon Valley world, it's a whole different world. The startup world is the craziest thing ever. People get millions, billions of dollars in funding, depending on the size of the company, left and right. And we believe that we have every single thing that you need to get fundraising. We could probably do it today, but we wouldn't want to because we want to build the proof first. So once we have that proof, we're looking to raise from anywhere from a $20 million valuation to a $50 million valuation, and then take that money, reinvest it, start blitzscaling, take over the whole Florida, and then the whole country. That's the plan.
Oh yeah.
What do you have to add on that, Jim? What did I miss?
I feel like you covered all of it. I want to say, like, a big shift for me going into this is a lot of people think of, has this been done before? And if it has, then they feel like they can do it as well. That's kind of the mindset with agencies. When you run an agency, a marketing company, what you do is you look at a niche and you ask yourself, is there any big agencies in this space? If there is, that's a proven market, let me go into that market. With this, it's completely opposite. It's basically, yeah, if within the laws of physics, is this possible? And if the mission is worth it, then we build it. It's basically going from 0 to 1. The book. Yeah, it's basically going from.
I just gotta say 3 things you gotta read/listen to: 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, Blitzscaling by Reid Hoffman, and How to Start a Startup by Sam Altman. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and Reid Hoffman is basically the CEO of LinkedIn, and he came up with blitzscaling, which is basically when you scale so fast that the competitors and the product starts working. You're basically taking a huge bet on everything working. And so the reason why you want to do that is because with LinkedIn, it doesn't work if there's only 100 people on the app. It only works when everyone's on there. And it's kind of the same thing here. Like our our app, our app at scale won't work if we don't have vendors and users at the same time. And also like the friends function, all that won't work if we have a lot of people. So we're gonna have to go from 0 to 1 and scale and blitz scale and take over certain markets so we can saturate quickly.
100%.
Nice.
So, with that, what were you saying? You were talking about before the book. You said something exhausting.
Yeah, I was saying that when you run like a marketing company or any other company, you look at, has it been done before? But now in the startup world, it's like, okay, it hasn't been done. Is it possible? Do I want to sacrifice everything to build this? And if the answer is yes, then you go for it. So you're thinking more of like, you're not thinking, has anyone else done this? You're thinking from like first principles, thinking like, is it possible? And then you build from there. And I think everyone like watching this, if you're just out here to make money, sure. If you just want to make 50K a month profit, live a lifestyle business, then sure, don't listen to this advice. But if you want to not only make a lot more money, but actually like build something that changes how people live on a daily basis, and we're not talking just your normal neighborhood, we're talking like literally everyone in the world, then you have to do something that hasn't been done before. You can't just do something that has been done, because then there's no value attached. Yeah, that's kind of a big change that's been happening for me now, is I've started to think very differently.
100%. No, you're saying great things, man. What I would add is talking about what kind of company we're trying to build, the culture, the values, and so on. So we have 3 core values of the company. Jim, do you want to say all 3? Spit them.
Right when I take a bite?
sorry, I'll say it for you. So, go for it.
Okay. User obsession. Okay, so do we want to explain them? No, I think they get it. User obsession. Just, we will take cut in revenue to make the app so good for the users. It's just about the users. The whole goal is just to make the users love the app. I mean, we will have chances when we can increase our revenue by increasing a percentage or adding a feature or adding like something. But if it doesn't benefit the users, we will not do it. We will not do it. And our decisions comes from just making it better for the users. The second one, this is the most important one. It's extreme speed, right? Or extreme urgency. Extreme urgency, sorry. Extreme urgency. We are, like in a startup, you have to move so fast that just no one else can keep up. And there's a lot of big companies that doesn't move with speed. There's a lot of small people, co-founders, founders that doesn't move with speed. We want to, like, if something needs to get done, we do it now. We don't wait. We do it as fast as we can. We crunch all timelines. Yeah, if something takes a week to get done, we're gonna ask, why can't we do it in one day? And the last one, do what can't be done. Do what can't be done. And so a lot of people will have limiting beliefs. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't buy Uber. It's already established. You can't do this. We're just gonna do things that other people say can't be done.
Hell yeah. You explained it perfectly. I don't have much to add there. Extreme urgency for me comes down to, like, a lot of people add timelines that they think are realistic rather than thinking on timelines that are physically possible. And I think that's a huge shift. Like, not, oh, can I have this done end of week? But rather, how long does this take? 4 hours. Okay, what if I really focus? 3 hours. Okay, so it's 1 p.m. right now. Can I have it done by 4 p.m. rather than the end of the week? And just thinking that way. If people are going to build an app, they usually say, okay, so I'm going to want to set my launch date a month out, right? And how I would think about it is, how many hours of programming do I think it's going to take? I think it's going to take roughly 100 hours. Perfect. How many hours can I work per day? If I really focus, I sit down, not including anything else, just the programming, I think I can do 10 hours of focus work a day. Then why can't I have it done in 10 days? That's 1.5 weeks. Let me set the deadline 1.5 weeks out. That's what I think extreme emergency comes down to. And when somebody else says a deadline like, hey, can we have it done by end of the week? Then saying why. And being fine to be uncomfortable and making somebody else uncomfortable with that why. Being fine to make other people feel like, oh, I'm gonna burn out, or oh, this isn't normal, or oh, this is unrealistic, or this isn't needed. Because every deadline isn't needed, but the accumulation of each deadline put together is what makes you able to build a app that most people would think take 5 years, but we can do it in 3 months. It's an accumulation of each deadline. When we have a bug, how can we fix that in 30 minutes rather than in 3 weeks? If we have a constraint that's dropping our conversion rates, why can't we just run 30 split tests in the next 4 days, see which one has the highest conversion rate, and then promote that one? Why can't that be done? First principles thinking. That's what I think extreme emergency has to do it. And then do what can't be done was a core value we went back and forth on a lot, because we wanted to put a word to how do we explain the things that people think are impossible. For example, a few things like making self-driving cars, or making a spaceship able to land again, making one place to find all services and book them, making a way to be able to make it free for both the users and the vendors to sign up, but still make it the world's biggest platform and make money on it. Finding a way to put together a 17-year-old high school dropout, a 20-year-old high school dropout, and a 19-year-old Nigerian, not dropout, but pretty much dropout, put them all together, no experience from either of them pretty much, make them build the world's biggest company. That can't be done. If you look at every example in the past, can't be done. Nobody's ever done it. If you look at Everybody's Tried, can't be done. If you look at what people have invested in this, it's been over $10 billion of investment in business ideas like this. Nobody has succeeded. But it's not physically impossible. That's why we say can't be done. Because if we look at the laws of nature, with the right actions, it is possible. So the only problem is that nobody has executed the right way. And that's what we think we can do. And that comes to everything. Whenever somebody says something is unrealistic or can't be done or it's not possible, we always got to ask ourselves, is that true? Or is that just another can't?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
Good example of this is when Elon Musk is trying to build rockets and he goes to the Russians to get a prize and it's way too overpriced. And he sits on I don't know if it's a plane or in the car ride back, and he just creates a sheet and he breaks down how much does the materials actually cost. And he realized it's way cheaper. And everyone else was like, oh, it's done. We're not going to be able to get rockets. But he, with first principles thinking, breaks down how much does it actually cost to build the rocket. And he goes and he builds it himself. That are things that just normal people, they won't even question that. But at our company, every single team member that we have will think like that, which is absolutely, I'm so excited for it. I have a meeting in 1 minute. So we're going to have to end off here. I don't know if I can have you take over this, Edvin, or if we're going to have to end off.
Let's end that. We got everything.
Let's do it. Excited for the future. Edvin, do you have any last words?
No, me and Jim, in a week from now, we're getting an office in person. Then Ada, our co-founder, is coming in a month.
Boom.
Next time, next time we speak to you guys, we'll have our first 100 users on the app and first 30 vendors. Let's fucking go. See you guys soon.
Let's go. Boom.